What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well this evening. Welcome, welcome. Let's see who all we got on tonight. I see Mr. Larry Merrick. Hello, Larry. Welcome. Josh Hurst, welcome. Mike from Texas. Hello. M10 Topper, hello. Ashley Coffee, what's going on? Joseph Thaxton, hello. Josh Sanders, hello. Kurt Meredith, hello. Terry Gear, hello. Seth Green, hello. Hope everybody's doing well. I see some people got their merch this week. Some people got the swag. Ashley Coffee says he got his. Where'd it go? There it is. Ashley says my wired swag came in. Seems to be quality stuff. Those guys did a nice job. They did do a nice job, that's for sure. Thank you, Ashley. Let's see. Kurt Meredith, love my new shirt. Good deal, Kurt. I'm glad you like it. So for those of you that hadn't seen the merch, where's it at? There it is. We got Wired for Crappie going on. Geez, it's over here on this side. Got the Wired for Crappie merchandise going on. Got the hat going on. It's good looking stuff. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you guys like it. Heidi Clark. Hey, Heidi. How's it going? Major Brown. What's going on? Asleep at the Real. What's going on? Got Mr. Stephen Webb. Central Texas. Hello, Stephen. Slab Buster. What's going on? Got Sean Mitchell. Hello, hello. Terry Landry. What's going on? Brad Nelson from Moore, Oklahoma. What's going on, Brad? So what's everybody been into since last week? I know what I've been into. Work. Been working a lot. Put some work in on the water. Dropped about 35 different brush piles this past week. So not going to tell anybody where we dropped those yet, but got some good brush put out and did get some footage, got some video for you guys. Probably put a show together on dropping brush at some point here in the next couple weeks. So keep an eye out for that. But hadn't been back to look at it. Don't know if there's fish on it, but my experience is it takes them a week. Well, I've caught stuff 2 to 3 days after I've put stuff out, but generally it takes a week to week and a half for fish to really find stuff and get on it good. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. But I got some decent footage, and we'll throw that out for you. Let's see who else we got here. Mike says, got my hat waiting on mugs. So yeah, let me explain for those of you that ordered mugs. My supplier for the mugs and for all the merchandise, actually their laser engraver went down a couple days before the merchandise ended, and they've been waiting on that to come back from the supplier. They shipped it back to the supplier to get fixed. They're waiting on it to come back so they can do all the engraving, and the cups will be going out soon. I was told you guys should have gotten a little letter in your packages explaining their sympathies, or not sympathies, but their apologies for the equipment being down. But they're going to get that back up and running as soon as they can, and you guys all get your mugs. So also, if there's any issues, if you have any issues with quantities or anything like that, let me know. We get that worked out too. So I haven't really heard of any yet, but I'm just throwing that out there for you guys in case something comes up. If you get shorted a decal or a hat or a shirt or something, just let me know and I'll get it taken care of for you. Okay. So let's see, Dr. Jack, hello. Got Major Brown, Grant Bailey. Hey, buddy. Dustin Shepard, good evening. Jonathan Freeman, work, work, work. That's right. Work, work, work. That's what we're good at, or that's what I'm good at, it seems like, is work, work, work. Slab Buster wants to know if I'm going to give you guys more screenshots of side images, etc. Yes, we will do that next week, Slab Buster. Next week on the live, I'll have another set of side imaging photos to look at. I'll also have some more live scope footage to look at. I've seen some stuff over the last week where people have been commenting and asking what fish are on live scope, what kind of species they are, and so on and so forth. Also, I've seen a lot in the last couple of weeks on side imaging and down imaging too, people not real sure about what species fish are. So I'll have some more of that out or for you guys next week. We'll go over that and we'll look at some more side imaging stuff, okay? So tonight I want to talk about fall transition, fall crappie fishing. Fall is close, guys. I know in East Tennessee, we're going to have some temperatures, I think in the 60s at night here in the next week or so. And surface temperatures are going to start dropping. Okay. So I want to talk about that, about kind of how I go about deciding and making decisions about when to go shallow, when to start looking, or where to start looking for fish when the temperature starts dropping, so on and so forth. So we're going to get into that this evening. I am going to answer questions throughout as well. Let's see. Asleep. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it very much. A little donation to buy yourself some Berkeley's crappie nibbles. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. So yeah, we ate crappie nibbles last week. That was yuck. Golly, you guys saw it. I don't have to go into that, but it was nasty. But thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, buddy, and thank you for the super chat, guys. So if this is your first time on the live, there's at the bottom of your comments, underneath where it says comment, is a button for super chats. So let me explain super chats to you guys a little bit. Obviously, what we do for you guys isn't free. It costs us money. There's GoPros, there's gas in the boat, there's oil in the boat, there's maintenance of the boat, there's baits, there's rods, there's reels, there's this, there's that. It costs money for us to put good content out there for you guys. So super chats are a way for you all to give back to the channel, make donations to the channel to help me stay on the water and continue putting out good content for y'all to watch. So, and not to mention our time. I have 2 kids and a wife, and I'm blessed because they allow me to do this for you guys. So thank you very much for the super chats. Everybody that's ever given one or ever will give one, I know I don't take it lightly. It's your hard-earned money. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, guys. So thank y'all very much for the super chats. Slab Happy Lures, thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat very much. Guys, Slab Happy Lures, check them out. Stephen Webb, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it, Stephen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's go back up. So fall transition. Guys, a lot of people think that fall transition is, when the water temps get back down into the 70s, 60s, so on and so forth. Let me tell you something. Fall transition starts as soon as the water temperatures start descending again, okay? Stephen, thanks for all you're doing. Can't wait to hear about the ACC rods when you get a chance to evaluate some. Yeah, me too, Stephen. Thank you for the super chat. I've got a video that I'm releasing tomorrow. There's a video tomorrow, first day on the water with my ACC, okay? First day on the water with it. So you guys check it out. I'm not going to give it away. It'll drop tomorrow, okay? Video will drop tomorrow, so you guys can check it out. Back to what I was saying. Stephen, thank you again for the super chat. Very much. Appreciate it. Fall transition, okay? Water temperatures in East Tennessee got up to about 86 degrees on the surface. That was as hot as they got this year. So they're already starting to cool off, okay? When those fish feel that temperature change from the surface, they're going to start moving up. So let me explain a little about how this happens. So once that surface starts cooling down, the surface water becomes denser than the water underneath it, and it drops, okay? Pushing the warmer water up, the cooler water comes down. Those fish feel that drop in the water, okay? When they start to feel that drop in the water, they are going to start moving up. Now, what is up? I've been telling you guys for the last 3 months. I sound like a broken record, I feel like. 15 to 25 feet, 15 to 25 feet, 15 to 25 feet. As those fish start to feel those layers of water drop through the water column, they're going to move up to probably 8 to 15 feet. Okay? So as you start seeing a cooling of the lake, start looking shallow again. What I will tell you is I generally, until about Halloween, I'll still continue with my pattern of deep to shallow. But once Halloween gets here, that's all going to change. I'm going to start shallow and look deeper. I always try to start deep in the summer and early fall. I look for those deep fish and work my way shallow if I can't find fish. But once Halloween gets here, that'll change. I'll start shallow and work my way deeper. That's the way I like to fish. That's how I fish the fall bite. And I'll start looking in creek channels. I've said this before, fish use the river channel and the creek channels just like we use highways and interstates and roads and state routes and so on and so forth. We use roads just like fish use creek channels, okay? So I will start probably from the first time I see a temperature drop, okay? I'm going to start at the mouths of creeks off the main river, and I'm going to start following those creeks back, looking for suspended fish and brush in the creek channel. Because as those fish move back through those creek channels, if they find brush, they're going to stop. Okay, especially if there's bait in the area. If there's bait in the area, they're definitely going to stop because they can sit there. They've got cover and they've got food. They'll sit there for a little while until they start meandering back even further. Once the water temp gets down to 72, 73, somewhere in there. Well, let's call it 74. We're going backwards. So let's call it 74. Once I hit 74, I'm not worried about the main channel and the first quarter of the creek arm as much as I am the second to third quarter of the creek arm. So that middle area of your creeks, okay, at 74, that's where I want to concentrate, is in the middle section of those creeks. And guys, up here in East Tennessee, we've got creeks that are miles and miles and miles off the main river. I mean, it goes back and back and back and back. Now, the little pockets and the little breaks, if you will, is what I call them. Fish will use those, but a lot of times they're not going to transition in those areas. If there's a little bit of brush in a pocket or something like that, don't ignore that. But a lot of times you're only going to get one depth in those pockets. Okay. And you're going to get, if that brush is in 12 feet, you're going to get it in the spring, you're going to get it in the fall. If it's in 25 feet, you're going to get it in the summer. If it's in 4 feet, you may as well just fish it in the spring. So you got to know what you're looking at, where your brush is at, what depth of water it is, and then you got to decide, okay, is that winter, spring, summer, fall, or all the above? So if it's sitting in 18 foot of water, I've said a million times, 18 foot of water is my favorite depth. I'd fish it all year. If somebody told me I could only fish one depth all year, it'd be 18 feet. So that's kind of, again, that's how I'm looking at fall transition. It's exactly like the spawn, except the temperatures are in reverse. Okay, guys. So you're, instead of the temperature rising, you got temperature falling. But it's the same transition as the spring. Fish are going to begin, as the water cools, fish are going to pull up, and as it gets lower and lower and lower, they're going to continue to pull up, and so on and so forth. A lot of guys say in the winter, go deep. Sometimes fish can set up deep in the winter. We'll talk more about that when winter gets here, okay? But I catch a lot of shallow fish in the winter too, so I'm going to stay on fall tonight. We won't go into winter, but baits to use, techniques. Let's talk techniques. Let me look and see real quick where we're at on comments. I'm sure you guys are probably asking some questions. Let me take a look. Jimmy Pratt, hello. Curtis Hobbs, been hot in Cochran, Georgia. Got to cool a little before cranking boat. So Curtis, how's the eye, Curtis? How's your eye doing? I hope it's doing well. Terry Landry, don't forget to smash the thumbs up. Yeah, guys, if you guys like the content, you like what I'm doing, you like what Wired for Crappie's doing, where we're going, smash that thumbs up, smash that like. Let everybody know that you like it, okay? There's no magical, mythical being that's going to send you 15,000 emails if you hit like. It's only going to let other people know that you like what's going on. That's all it's going to do. So smash that thumbs up, please. Heidi Clark, I would like to know how to put braided line to my new reels, please. So Heidi, braid is expensive, okay? If you're going to put braid on your reels, you need to back it with a mono. So put your mono on just like you always have. I generally go about 3/4 of a spool with mono, and then 1/4 of a spool with braid. The way you connect your braid to your mono is with a uni knot, or that's how I do it. Okay. There's several different knots you can tie to connect the two lines together, Heidi, but I use a uni knot. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that show a uni knot. For the sake of time, I'm not going to show a uni knot right now, unless you guys really want to see one, and then I will. If there's a lot of guys on here and girls that want to see that uni knot, I can, but for the sake of time, I won't show it at the moment. But yes, that's how I connect my two, is with a uni knot, and then you spool up your braid, and that's it. So that's how I do it. Roger T, good evening. Let's see. Steven says, thanks for the update on the Tumblr. I love the other wired goods that did come. I'm glad you like them, Steven. Yeah, it's good looking stuff. I really think they did a good job with it. So I'm happy. Let's see here, guys. I'm looking for comments. I see you guys got some talk going on. Let's see here. Robert said he's late, but made it. Hello, Robert. DRB Fishing, good evening. Mike, this is a good question. Does rain affect surface temp? Yes, Mike, rain will affect surface temp. So as we get through summer into, hang on, Mike, I'll come right back to you. Dustin Shepard, thank you, sir, for the super chat. I appreciate it, Dustin, very, very much. Thank you, thank you. Cole Webb, thank you for the super chat, Cole. I appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you, thank you. All right, Mike, does rain affect surface temp? So yes, rain does affect surface temp, Mike. Now, as I described earlier, what's going to happen, okay? As we get out of summer and start transitioning to fall, we're going to start getting those cold rains. When we start getting those cold rains, that surface temp is going to cool. That layer of water is going to drop, and a warmer layer of water is going to push up. Okay, so again, it's there's another turnover coming, and it's when the surface temps start to cool and that water drops. Now, the good thing and the bad thing, okay, about the surface temps cooling off and the fall turnover. We all know in the summer it sets up the lakes. Some lakes set up a thermocline, and from that thermocline down, there's not a whole lot of oxygen. There's not a whole lot of fish that live down there, bait that lives down there below the thermocline. Okay. The bad thing about this surface temperature cooling off and dropping is it's going to mix in that thermocline, and cool water holds more oxygen. So as that cooler, denser water drops with oxygen, it's going to add oxygen below the thermocline. Okay. What's going to happen is that's going to allow the fish to inhabit more of the lake. So there's a period there where the fish end up with twice as much water to live in. So they scatter out a little bit more. Okay. It's a little harder to catch them just because they have more water to live in. So early fall can be a tough time of year to fish, but it can also be a very, very, very good year or time to fish. Shallow water fishing gets better and better as fall goes on. Shallow docks come back into play on a lot of reservoirs, a lot of lakes. Again, if you're, if there's only 5 feet there underneath the dock and the water temperature goes from 86 to 74, there's twice as much oxygen held in that water for those fish to get in there. More fish can get in there and inhabit that space because there's more oxygen. Bait fish can move in there, more oxygen. They'll move in. It's good all the way around. Okay. So shallow water fishing is going to get good in mid to late fall as everything starts turning over. Robert says, got my merch. Thanks. Looks great. You're welcome, Robert. Don't thank me. Thank you for purchasing. I just picked a logo and helped guide the guys that made it. I didn't do a whole lot. So thank you guys for purchasing the merch. It was a very successful first attempt at selling merchandise. So thank you guys. Thank everybody for purchasing that. Slab Buster says, water temp is still 88 here. The bite is picking up. Caught some fish Sunday. Not a lot of big ones, but they hit hard. We do have a lot of 2.5, 3 pound crappie here. They're hard to find right now for me. It's going to get better from here on out, especially when we start getting some cooler temperatures. Crickwater running late. Hello. Dropped in to say hi. Hello, Crickwater. JT's All Outdoors says, hey, Matt, how's it going? It's going well. Going well. Talking a little crappie fishing. Dustin Shepard, thanks for all the great content. Keep it up. Keep up the good work, buddy. Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Heidi. Heidi says thank you. Cole Webb, do a fall planer board video, Matt. So, yes, fall is a great time. That takes me into techniques. Thank you, Cole. I appreciate that. See, Cole gave me an intro right there. Just right on into it. So let's talk about techniques for fall. Okay. You guys are going to see me do some different stuff for fall. I'm going to long line troll because that's how I cut my teeth crappie fishing. When I first started crappie fishing years ago, I had a 14-foot Alumacraft with a 6-horse Evinrude on it, and I would go down to Notchie Creek on Tellico, and I would put that boat in there, and I would never leave sight of the boat ramp. One, because it took me forever to get anywhere, and two, because I could catch fish within sight of the boat ramp. So, it was a lot of fun. I just went and fished, and hey, it was fun. So, kept going, kept catching them, kept going. But I long line trolled all the time. It's all I did. I'd put the boat in, I'd motor across the lake, and I'd put rods in my $2 rod holders that I got from Walmart. Those ones that are real flimsy that you can just bend back and forth, and they clamp onto the side of a aluminum John boat. Well, I didn't clamp mine on. I drilled through the gunnel and screwed them into the gunnel and put my rods in them. But hey, that was crappie fishing for me. It was fun. I caught fish. I loved doing it, and I did it for years. That's all I did. And then I figured, hey, there's got to be more out there to this. Let's go figure out another way to fish for these fish. And it just snowballed. So let's see here. I saw another super chat. Mike Scoggin, $5. Thank you for the info. Going to Lake Fork the end of October. Yeah, rub it in, Mike. Rub it in. I may be on Lake Fork before it's all said and done, guys. I don't know when or if I'm going to go, but I may end up on Lake Fork myself. So I won't give away any or too much there, but if I head down that way, I'll let everybody know. So, Mike, I hope you have a good trip. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it very, very much. So, long line trolling. That's the way I cut my teeth fishing. When I started long line trolling, I would use Jiffy Jigs or hair fly religiously. I use these things religiously all the time. 16th ounce, 2 16th ounce jigs tied in parallel and tipped the back jig with a minnow. Okay. So 2 jigs on a line. The last jig got tipped with a minnow. I'd tie those with loop knots. I'd tie the first jig on, leave about 18 to 20 inches of line, put the jig on there, tie another little loop knot, have them about 12 to 14 inches apart. That's how I fished. I would pull anywhere from 0.7 to 1.2 mile an hour, and I would follow the creek channel every time I fished. Every single time I fished. I'd hit the creek channel. I'd follow it. If it S's, bends, 90s, 45s, wherever that creek channel went, I followed it. Okay. And I did so with my Navionics on my phone because I didn't even have fish finders on that boat. I'm trying to think if I had a cheap one. No, I didn't even have fish finders on it. I think towards the end of that boat, I put a cheap Humminbird on it that I got, I don't remember where, Walmart or somewhere. I don't remember. It's been years ago, but 2 jigs in parallel, tipped the last one with a minnow. I still fish that way today. I still use Jiffy Jigs. I still pull them all the time. Something about pulling hair. They like hair. I pull it all the time. Hair jigs tipped with a minnow. Now, I will say this. In the fall, as that water cools, the fish are going to get more energetic. as they feel that water temperature cool, they're going to be revitalized. They're going to get more aggressive. They're going to start chasing again. Curly tail baits, paddle tail baits, action baits get bites in the fall of the year. Okay. There's some really good action tail baits on the market. There's sliders. Okay. There's, let's see, what else is there? There's slab curlies from Crappie Magnet. They've got a curly tail bait. These are, so there's your curly tail from Crappie Magnet. That's a slab curly. That's pumpkin and chartreuse. Everybody knows that's one of my favorite colors, pumpkin and chartreuse for East Tennessee. So action tail baits are very, very, very good in the fall when the temperatures start dropping. Okay. If you're going to troll, I would probably troll hair or an action tail. And I like to mix it up. So I may put an action tail jig on the first jig head and then tie a hair fly on the back and tip it with a minnow. I may put the hair jig up front and I may put action tail on the back and not tip it at all. It just depends. So you guys are going to see me long line troll on some videos. I'm going to go back to long line trolling, make some videos for you guys so you guys can see that. I'll show you how I do it. And I'm excited because I'm going to have a whole new ACC rod setup that's coming in that's going to be just perfect for trolling. Couple 12s, couple 10s, couple 8s, couple 6s. So I'm going to try to run 8 rods if I can keep up with that many by myself. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I love long lining in the fall. So Cole also said planer boards. Planer boards in the fall. For those of you that have never seen a planer board, that is a planer board. Okay. So you got clips here and here, which your line goes on. These are bobber clips. Okay. You just push the back side of them and it opens up. You guys might be able to see that, might not. See it moving there? Let's see here. Doing. So you just push the back side of it there. It opens up. You put your line in it. You close it back. The beauty of these boards, okay, especially late fall, early winter, late fall, you can get on those shallow flats where those fish are feeding, and you can pull your jigs in 5, 8, 9 feet of water, 10 feet of water. You can put the line necessary behind these boards to keep those jigs off the bottom. Okay. So generally 2/3 of your line distance is going to be your depth with 2 16th-ounce jigs. So if I put 10 feet of line out behind this board, okay, they're going to run 7 to 8 feet deep, going 0.8 to 1 mile an hour, even up to about 1.2. Okay. So the next thing that these do, I don't know, well, you guys can probably, yeah, you can see that. See how the front, that's the front of the board, okay? See how the front of that board is cut at an angle? What that's going to allow that board to do is when it's pulling through the water, let's say our boat's here, when this starts pulling through the water, it's going to catch that angle and it's going to pull it out here to the side of the boat. And it's going to pull it parallel to the boat, but out away from it. So I can fish out away from the boat and not spook as many fish with the boat. And the bait is presented to those fish without spooking them. Okay. Great tool for crappie fishing. They are a little pricey, but they're well worth it. Okay. So I think you can get a pair of these. I think they're about $30 a pair. I generally fish with 3 pairs. I fish with 6 boards, 3 off each side, and then 2 straight lines out the back. So I'll probably be pulling these some this fall, and we'll do a video with those. Okay. The setup, as far as your jig setup, is the same. Couple 16th-ounce jigs. If you're fishing real shallow, couple 32nd-ounce jigs. but it's the same thing. Tied with a couple loop knots and pulled behind the boards. Same setup. I'll use the same rods that I use to long line for pulling those boards. Puts a little bit more stress on them, but they can handle it. Rods today are just built great. They can handle it, it's no problem. So. All right, let's see here. I gotta go back and find my spot. You guys know I lose my spot like 15 times a night. But hey, we'll find it. It's in there somewhere. DRB asks, as a new subscriber, I'm not sure, so was wondering, where are you located? So DRB, I am in East Tennessee. I fish Chickamauga, Loudon, Tellico, Watts Bar, Melton Hill, Douglas, Cherokee. I have been on Norris a time or two. Don't typically go to Norris, but I've been on Norris. But I am in East Tennessee. Rodney Mason, hello. So, Major Brown, have you been successful pulling cranks or long lining in the fall? So, I have been successful long lining. I have not pulled a whole lot of crankbaits in the fall. I've been told by guys that, they pull crankbaits as far in or as far out as into October. I haven't personally done that. I generally stop pulling crankbaits in August. Once September gets here, I quit pulling crankbaits. That's just me. Crankbaits, you generally fishing deep. You're fishing for deeper fish. You're looking for a reaction strike. The crankbait, the way a crankbait wobbles and the noise that it makes is what drives a reaction strike from fish, the noise and the vibration. You don't necessarily need the noise and vibration in the fall because they're more active, they're more aggressive, they're feeding. You just don't need it. So I typically don't pull crankbaits, but long lining I do, and it is very successful in the fall. Terry said he had to run. Sorry, Terry. If you're still here, have a good one. If not, catch you next time. Curtis, he's got an update on the eye. Can see to drive in daytime, but not at night. But vision is progressing. One more surgery to remove silicone oil, then hopefully normal vision. December, January timeframe. Well, Curtis, we'll continue to say a prayer for you, buddy. Hope all goes well, and glad to hear it's getting better. Getting better is a whole lot better than getting worse. So glad you're getting better. Slab Buster says he'd like to see a long line video. I got one coming. I promise. As soon as it starts cooling off, I'm hitting the long line with a passion. Live scopes come out, guys. It's just changed the way a lot of us fish. It's put us on the bow of the boat a lot more. I pull all my jigs and crankbaits and everything else. I pull out of the back of my boat. I have a Ranger 690 VS with a deep floor, and it's just absolutely beautiful to pull jigs out of, and to pull anything out of. It sets up absolutely perfect for trolling. So it is a great trolling boat, and I love trolling out of it. So I'm going to do some more of that. You just got to make sure you just got to leave the live scope battery at home and go troll. So when you get on them trolling, though, you can have a really fun day. If you're not on them, it can be really boring. But if you're on them, it's a lot of fun. So drive around till you find suspended fish, and then go follow them creek channels. Jason's story, Matt, thanks for all the good info and help. You give a lot of good info for all us on here tonight and every night. You're welcome, Jason. I appreciate the comment, buddy. I appreciate the thanks. Well, since Chris said it, you need to be here at Lake Fork for the ACC Crappie Sticks Owners Tournament November the 14th. So, yeah, November the 14th, ACC is going to have a owners tournament. I think it's all the pro staff. I'm not sure who else is going to be there. I personally may be, may not be. If I have to miss that, I'm going to be upset. But I had a prior engagement. I just came on with ACC, and I don't know that I can get out of my prior engagement because I'm committed. And I don't know. We'll see. I hate to break a commitment this year. And again, I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell on that one. Steven said, I feel I should be taking notes tonight. Great info, Matt. Thanks. You're welcome, Steven. You know, the beautiful thing about lives and YouTube is that this is going to stay on here for you guys. So once we get off the live tonight, it doesn't disappear. It posts to the page, which I'm sure all you guys know. You can come back and watch it anytime. It's no secret. I love sharing info. I absolutely love doing this for you guys. Yeah, it takes some time out of my day, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. I've said that 100 times. I'll say it 100 more, probably 1,000 more before it's over with. And hey, did everybody see the channel surpassed 5,000 subscribers last week? I posted some stuff about it, and so I posted it on the Wired for Crappie Facebook page, and I posted it on my Wired for Crappie Instagram, and I posted it on my personal page, Matt Zenas, on Facebook, and I posted it on the YouTube channel under the where you can put pictures and comments. Discussion, I think, is where it's at, under discussion on YouTube. Anyway, we surpassed 5,000 subscribers, guys. 5,000 subscribers. There's 5,000 people out there that like what Wired for Crappie's doing. That's incredible. I can't put into words how incredible that is to me. I mean, I've told the story before. My wife said, you need to start filming this and putting it out there. If you're going to do it every weekend, you may as well film it. I was like, well, yeah, you have a point, I guess. She buys me a GoPro, and then, woo, there we are, off like a rocket. My wife and I talked about the name for the channel for 3 weeks. And then it just, Wired for Crappie, sounded like it fit. So it was born. And 5,000 subscribers. I mean, that's so awesome. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. I don't know what to say. It's not very often I'm tongue-tied, but I'm a little tongue-tied at the moment because I don't know whether to, just jump up and down and scream and holler at you guys about 5,000 subscribers or start crying. It's just so cool. So thank y'all. I guess. I mean, that's all I can say is thank y'all very much. Share the channel. Tell your buddies about it. I want to hit 10,000. I want to hit 20. I want to hit 30. I want to hit 100. I want to get this information out to as many people as I can and help you guys catch fish. So keep sharing, keep talking about the channel, and we'll keep growing. Brian Mack says, what's best time in October to fish lower Watts bar? We usually hit it mid-month. Best time to hit lower Watts bar is probably, well, I wouldn't say it's fall at all. Best time to hit lower Watts bar is probably winter, to be honest, Brian, for the lower end. But if you're going to fall fish lower end, the middle to end of October is probably a good time. The lower end has a lot of brush in it, but it's a lot of deeper stuff. There is some shallow stuff, but for the most part, everything on the lower end is in 15 plus. There, like I said, there's some shallow stuff down there. And I'm assuming by lower end, you're talking, oh, what is that down there? What creek is that? Jeez. Somebody will comment on here in a minute. Tell me if Blake Hawk is on tonight. He'll tell me. But yeah, middle end October is a good time. Lower end of Watts Bar. If I was going to fish Watts Bar though, it'd probably be from Hog Pen to Whites Creek. If I was going to fish it in October, is probably where I'd fish. That'd probably be the end of the lake that I fish, or area of the lake that I fish. Jimmy Pratt, will the Crappie Cove carry plant? I need to get a softer chair, guys. Golly, this chair is getting old. God. Will the Crappie Cove carry planer boards? You know, Jimmy, I'm not sure. That'd be a Blake Hawk question. Is Blake on tonight? I don't know that I've seen Blake. I think we can make that happen, Jimmy. Yeah, I'll say we can make that happen. So East Tennessee Crappie Club has a member that makes those planer boards, these, or a similar board to this. It's not the same material as this. It's actually a PVC that they use, I believe, but they're identical in design, shape, and performance. So I think we can make that happen, Jimmy. I'll check on that and let you know. I was going to call Blake, but we're not going to bother him tonight if he's not on. William, hello from Chicago. Love your videos. Well, hello from Tennessee, William, and thank you. I appreciate it very much. M10 topper, crankbaits in the fall. I'm going to call that mountain topper. Sorry. Mountain topper, I do not pull crankbaits in the fall, like I said earlier. Fish in the fall. Crankbaits, the reason crankbaits work for crappie is because it drives a reaction strike from the fish. Okay. They hear it, they feel the vibration, they strike it. You don't need a reaction strike in the fall because as the water's cool, the fish get more aggressive, they get more active, they start feeding, they're feeding up for the winter. You just don't need a reaction strike. You get a bait in front of a fish, they're going to hit it. So I don't pull them in the fall, but let's see here. Slab Buster says, need to come to Weiss, Matt. A lot of crappie known as the crappie capital of the world. I haven't been there in a while. I live about 60 miles from it. Yeah, you know, I've thrown around going to Weiss, guys. I've thrown around going and fishing the Crappie USA they have down there every year. and I just hadn't. Again, I've just got so much going on here. It's hard to do everything. But I need to get down there. You're right. I may just pull out one weekend and go down there and fish. It's so close to me. It's like 2.5 hours, and I know there's a lot of crappie in Weiss. There really is, and it's funny how everybody thinks they have the crappie capital of the world. It's great. Reelfoot claims to be the crappie capital of the world, and Weiss claims to be the crappie capital of the world. Grenada and Mississippi. Well, the big three in Mississippi claim to be the crappie capital of the world. You know, Chris claims that Texas is the crappie capital of the world. Fork and Palestine and LOP and all them, Chris claims they're the crappie capital of the world. So I don't know. There's a lot of crappie capitals, but East Tennessee can give them a run for their money as far as numbers concerned. That's for sure. There's a lot of fish in our lakes, a lot. So who knows? But yeah, I need to get down there for sure. River Rat got my shirt yesterday. Same as the one you have on. Love it. Yeah, I like mine too. I like them. I keep grabbing the wrong side, but they turned out great. Better than I ever would have thought they would. So I had help. There's no doubt I had help. So I appreciate everyone who helped me and make all this happen. So that includes you guys. So if you guys weren't there to support the channel and buy merch, then it never would have happened. So let's see. Question, Matt. Why a loop knot instead of a stronger Palomar knot? Good question. So I will answer that question. I will answer that question for you, and I'll show you. Bite off some line here. Yeah, I know. You're not supposed to bite the line. I got you. Text message. All right. So, good night. I pulled off way too much line. All right, let's pull a couple of these jigs off here, and I'll show you why I loop knot. I'm going to minimize that so y'all can see. All right, let's talk loop knot. How do I tie a loop knot, okay? 2 jigs, 1 line, loop knots. Go through that. Okay. Pull out about 24 inches of line, about 2 feet of line, okay? Grab the main line and your tag end. Go around your fingers. 1, 2. All right. Hold the line. Put that jig, okay, right through the line on your fingers and pull it off. Okay. Then you want to pinch it right down here on the head. All right, there's your loop. And just ease that loop down. All right, like that. Okay. So then we have the main line, the tag end, the main line end, and your loop knot. Now, why a loop knot, not a stronger knot? Well, with this first jig, okay, when you're pulling this jig in the water, this jig is going to come back like this, okay? You want to have your loop knot on there so that that jig will go around your leader line. So you've got line to the other jig. You want to make sure that you have a loop knot on there big enough to where it'll go around your line and won't get caught on your line. If you tie this jig to the line, a lot of times this tag end will make contact with the jig and it'll rather spin it, cause it to spin, or it'll spin a couple times. When it gets just right on in the water, it'll spin it a couple times and it'll get tangled and it won't look right to the fish. Okay, so I always tie a loop knot that way. when this jig is back here, it's above your line. Make sense? Okay. Now, why a loop knot on the bottom? Same principle, but I want that jig to be able to move around. I'm going to tie these a little closer than 12 inches. That way you guys can see both jigs. 1, 2, right through my fingers. Pull that off. Both ends. And cinch it. All right, bite that tag off. All right, so there's both jigs, okay? I tie a loop knot on the back jig so that this jig can move around freely on that back of that line, okay? Again, a lot of times, especially with these heads, let me show you this head. The top of this head, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's not perfectly round, okay? See that? A lot of times, if you tie directly to that jig head, you can get spin and twist on that back jig, okay? But if it's got a loop knot and it's free to kind of move around a little bit on its own accord, it won't tangle as much, or not tangle, but twist. It won't twist your line. So allowing those jigs to ride where they want to set in the water. If you guys ever put a jig on and pull it beside the boat before you throw it out and it kind of leans to the side a little bit, if you're trolling, that lean can turn into a spin and it can cause twist. And if that jig's back there spinning in the water, there ain't nothing going to hit it. Not to mention, when you reel your line up, it's going to cause it to just around the top of the rod, and it's going to be aggravating as all get out. I've done it, lived it. So that's why I tie loop knots when I'm trolling, just so that jig can move around freer, okay? Let's see, I lost my place again. I'll find it. Don't yell at me. Hey, there we go. Found it. Robert, good question right here. Do you try to follow the sides of the creeks or out? So I'm going to draw you a picture. All right, let's say this is your creek, okay? I don't like that one. We're going to do another one. Because I don't like that one. Hang on. I need an S curve. All right. See if I can do this now, like this. All right, let's say this is your creek going off the main river, okay? There's a creek channel that runs off this main river that comes back somewhere in this arm, okay? So let's say that creek channel comes right through here like so. Generally, your creek is going to follow the outside bend of your creek channel. Okay. So let's say that dotted line is your actual creek channel, okay, that feeds this creek arm. I'm going to follow, let's see if I can do this backwards. If I can, it'll be a miracle. Let me get rid of this, Robert. So I'm going to follow this dotted line, okay, back through this creek arm in the fall. I'm going to follow that and catch fish 9 times out of 10 going back into a creek. Okay. Now, one thing I will say is I don't necessarily get in the middle of that little creek, okay, and just stay there. A lot of times those fish will sit on the drops, okay? So if you're running right down the middle of that creek, sometimes you won't get bit. You've got to get over, I mean, it could be 25 feet. You've got to get over on the drop where those fish are sitting on that drop. So a lot of times what I'll do, and if I have a creek and it's 100 yards long and it's straight as an arrow, a lot of the times I'll kind of just do S's. Just not real sharp S's, but just, come in, weave around over the creek channel. Okay. Just over the creek channel, just kind of back and forth and back and forth, catching those fish that are on those drops. Okay. And you'll notice sometimes they want a bait that comes off the drop from the shallow to the deep end. Sometimes they want a bait coming out of the deep water into shallow. It just depends. The fish can be a little cantankerous to how they want that bait to come. A lot of times you'll see when you come from the left side, you'll get bit. When you come over and you cross to the right side, you won't get bit. That's because they're watching for that bait to come off that flat back to the creek channel. Okay. So a lot of times in the morning, that's how they want it. In the morning, they want it. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me think. Yeah. In the morning, they want it coming off the flat into the deeper water. In the evening, they want to see it coming out of the deeper water up onto the flat. So zigzag back and forth across that creek channel too. Blake Hawk, sorry to be late tonight. Oh, everyone is well, I think is what that meant to say. Thank you, Blake. I appreciate the super chat, buddy. Thank you so much. Hey, better late than never. You'll have to go back and watch it because I think I've given some good info. I think I've had people say it was good info, so you'll go back and watch that after the live ends, I guess. Because I told you to. I can hear Blake now. Wow. Because I told you to. Let's see here. And Blake made me lose my spot again. This time, I'm going to find it quicker. All right, no slack. How do you rig? Do you use a swivel? No, sir, I do not use a swivel. I do not rig swivels on anything that I do outside of pulling crankbaits because crankbaits are absolutely notorious for spinning. My inline weight has a swivel on it when I pull crankbaits, but any other time I'm pulling jigs, I do not use a swivel. No, sir. I tie it just like I showed you guys. And I'm going to get it in a minute. Right like this right here. Two jigs tied on the same line, 2 loop knots. That's how I pull my jigs, guys, right there. Okay. And it doesn't matter if it's an action tail bait, a jig, a bonehead jig, a hair fly. Doesn't matter what it is. That's the way I pull them. So Larry asks how to get started with planer boards, long lining, without investing in a dozen rods. What's a reasonable number to start with and learn the method? Four. Four is a reasonable number of rods to start with, guys. 2 out of each side. Okay. If I was going to start long lining or pulling planer boards, I would do so with a 12 and a 10-foot rod on either side of the boat. The reason I like a 12 and a 10 to start out with is it gets the baits away from the boat and you're not fishing directly under your boat. Okay. So if I was going to start out, I'd buy a 12-foot rod and a 10-foot rod for each side of your boat. That's where I'd start. DRB, if I missed the end of this live, I want to say it's been an awesome live, and looking forward to watching more of your vids and lives. Thank you, DRB. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much. Matt gives some great info. He's got a lot of crappie knowledge for a young fellow, great fisherman. Young fellow. I'm not as young as I look. I have people tell me I look pretty young. I'm actually, guys. This is a perfect time. Again, thank you, Slab Chaser or Slab Buster, for the intro. So this is a great time for me to tell you guys I have a birthday coming up. I don't want to have a birthday, but I have to have a birthday. My wife will not let me forget my birthday, except for this one year, because she mentions it all the time. My wife forgot my birthday one year completely. Woke up, she's looking at me, nothing, nada. Went to work, came home, nada. Thought, oh, well, maybe she's going to do something special. It's about 9 o'clock at night, and she goes, oh. I said, yeah. Today's your birthday. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I don't ever let her live it down. It's the one time my wife has messed up, and I don't ever let her live it down. Period. So, but I do have a birthday coming up. My birthday is September the 12th. Okay. I will be another year older. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's coming. So I think what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to do a special live for you guys on my birthday. It is going to be a birthday live. And I'm going to do it on the lake. So I'm going to get somebody to go with me to hold the phone, and I'm going to talk to you guys on my birthday, just me and y'all, fishing. We're going fishing. We're going to do a live show on the water. I may even take a birthday present for myself and open up a birthday present while we're out there. But I'm doing a birthday live. I think that's what I want to do for my birthday. Okay, I want to spend it with you guys. So keep that in mind. September the 12th. That'll be a Saturday. So everybody should be off work and be able to watch that. Probably be Saturday afternoon, probably 5 to 7, something like that. I don't want to do it 6 to 8 because I'll lose light. So probably 5 to 7 on Saturday evening. We'll do a live, and you guys can come spend birthday with me. Tell me happy birthday. It'll be fun. And we're going to catch fish. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Slab Buster, for the intro. And now you guys know what's going on my birthday. So. Steven, he says 5,000. And I am a founding member. Love it. I love it too. I love it too, for sure. I love all my founding members. I love all my members, period. But the founding members that have been with me since the beginning, I thank y'all very much. Mike says he's learned a lot on Wired for Crappie about crappie fishing. Thanks, Mike. I'm glad you're learning. Glad I can help. Yeah, there's that creek down there at the end of Watts Bar, Piney River. I knew somebody would tell me what that was because I can't remember. I always forget Piney. I don't know why. Piney. I always forget it. So I always forget the name of it. Irene says, Matt, I'm new to your channel. Crappie Cove was my first live. Have been going back looking at some of your video. Love your enthusiasm, energy, and expertise. Great info. Thanks so much. Well, you're very welcome, Irene. And thank you for being part of the channel. Kendall. Hey, Matt, just got on here. My hat came in. Love it. May wear it on my next fishing video. Thank you, Kendall. Thanks for purchasing a hat, buddy. I'm glad you like it. And if you wear it, when you wear it, send me some photos. Send me some photos of y'all's wired merch. I'll slide them in a video or slide them in somewhere. And I may even slide them in some lives or slide them in something. Just show everybody how happy everybody is with the merch. And there's a lot of different stuff out there. I mean, I can't flash all of it on the screen. So, you know, as far as all the merch, I don't get up here. I'm not a model, so I don't model well. But send me some pictures. I'd like to see it, guys. I think everybody probably has my. If you don't have my email, I'll give you my email. Let me type it in down here. So there's my email. Send me some pictures, guys. I'd love to see them. Plus, I'd kind of like to put a face with some of y'all's names. I got to meet a lot of y'all at the live at Gunny's. It was a blast. We had a lot of fun over there. For those of you that were there, thank you for coming. For those that watched live online, thank you for coming. It was a really cool time. I had a little PowerPoint I went through, and we ate some food, bought some cool crappie stuff, and had hats and all kinds of good stuff to give out. There's shirts and hats and apparel. And Gunny's Crappie Cove is always so generous with everything and having us there. And they even kept their people there late so that people could buy stuff. It was a really good time. It was really fun. So thank y'all for that. And I'm glad I got to put faces with the names there. So thank y'all for coming again, and we'll do something again. So it was a success, I think. And, you know, there was a lot of people that enjoyed it and getting together and talking crappie. I think we'll do something again. So I'll keep everybody posted on that too. Yep. Joshua says slab chaser planer boards. That's it. Slab chaser planer boards is the planer boards I was talking about. They have a Facebook page, so you can check them out on Facebook. But I'll see if we can't get some in the store too up at Crappie Cove. Todd asks, hey, Matt, just bought property on Cherokee Lake, going to build in about 4 years when wife retires. How's the fishing there? It's good. Yep. Cherokee has a lot of crappie in it, and it's a very good fishery. So you'll enjoy it. Josh Hurst, Matt, when you make your brush pile video, can you include some images from Navionics? All videos I see on YouTube, people just dump them in and never show where to put them. Thanks. Well, Josh, they don't show where to put them because they can't. I mean, they don't want to show you where they're putting their brush piles out. They're not going to show you where they put their brush piles. I can definitely do an avionics and show you guys what I look for. when I'm dropping brush piles. When I drop brush piles, I'm generally dropping them for tournament situations. I do that because I am a tournament crappie fisherman. I run East Tennessee Crappie Club. I'm president of East Tennessee Crappie Club. Started the club 7 years ago and been president of the club ever since. But that's the reason I put them out, is for tournament situations. And I generally put them on lakes that I don't fish a whole lot, because the lakes I do fish a whole lot, I've got thousands of waypoints for brush piles, and I don't necessarily need to put them out on those lakes because I've just got so much stuff I can't fish it all anyway. So I generally go to lakes that for tournament situations, I want more to fish. I want more areas, more spots to fish. That's where I put my brush out. But yes, I will include some Navionics stuff and show you how I go about thinking to myself, where am I going to put this? I mean, I'll definitely do that for you. I would actually enjoy doing that for you. So I will, yes. Camo Joe, I got my shirt, hat, decals, and license plate. Joe's loaded up. He's wired for everything. He's wired on the boat, wired on the truck, wired on his back, wired on his head. He's ready to rock and roll. Me too. I got wired license plates. I even tried to put one on my wife's car. She was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, Nothing. She's like, "What you got there?" Nothing. She's like, "That a wired for crappie license plate?" No. Yeah, maybe. And then I looked down and there was no license plate holder on the front of her car. And I was like, I wasn't doing nothing. You don't even have a license plate holder. I was just standing here. She's like, with a screwdriver? I was like, yeah, maybe. So anyway, I've got it all over the place too, buddy. But thank you. I appreciate it. If you end up putting it on your wife's car, let me know. Send me pictures of that. Her driving around with the wired on. That's pretty funny. So I couldn't do the decal because when my wife looks in the mirror, in the rearview mirror, she'll see the decal. She'll know it's there. I was trying to sneak one in on her. Blake Hawk's giving me another intro. Yeah. So, guys, there is an auction coming up. Let me pull up the. Hang on just a second. Bear with me. I got to pull up the. Well, let me do it on my computer. I think I have it on my computer. I'll show it to you guys. Hang on just a second. I hope you guys can still see me. Where's it at? Where'd it go? I saved it. I know I did. I guess I didn't. Or maybe I deleted it. Hey, hang on. Let me see if it's on my phone. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. So Wired for Crappie and Crappie Cove partnered up, and there is an auction for IMS. For you guys that know what IMS is, the IMS Nature Center and so on and so forth, IMS is doing a silent auction to raise money for something. I'm doing really bad at this, as a matter of fact. So where is it at? I know I saved it. Blake's going to kill me because I should know about this better than I do. But I saved it for a reason, because I knew I would forget. I know where to find it. All right. So, sorry. I'm coming. Promise. Symphony from the Park 2020. iJams Symphony from the Park. and it is a fishing trip for two with me, wired for crappie. And it also has from Crappie Cove, you receive 2 crappie rods, 2 reels, and baits for your trip. It is a silent auction to raise money. Bidding is open now. You can bid now. Starting bids $350 for the trip. It's an 8-hour guided fishing trip with me, 2 rods, 2 reels. There's already one bid on it. So it started at $350. Somebody's already bid, and it's just for a good cause. Okay, guys. So there's the fishing trip, wired for crappie, fishing trip for 2. Okay. So bidding is open now. I will paste the link in the comment section so that you guys can take a look at it if you'd like. And I'm also going to post everything about it on the Wired for Crappie Facebook page, the Wired for Crappie Instagram. It'll be on my personal page, Matt Zenas. We'll put it on the YouTube channel where I put all the other pictures and everything, put a link there for you guys to follow that. So if you're thinking about going on a trip and you want to go with me, then it's for charity. You can write it off on your taxes. It's a tax write-off. So you can go fishing and write it off on your taxes. So check that out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a good time. And I will have more information coming soon because it's open now and we've got to start bidding on that thing. And I butchered that really well, so sorry. It's hard to remember every detail about everything. All right. Let's see here. Slab Buster says, hey, what type of brush or wood type is best to drop in your opinion? I've always found some type of hardwood always works best for me. I would agree. I prefer hardwood, and I prefer sparse structure to thick structure. I do not like thick structure. I do not like dropping thick trees. I do not like dropping Christmas trees. I think that's a waste of time. I like sparse oak structure or hardwood structure. I like oak, but hardwood structure, I typically do stakes in buckets. I like stake buckets. So that's typically what I drop. It tends to hold less fish, but bigger fish. And that's a lot of times, like I said, I'm trying to drop stuff for tournament situations, and I'm looking for bigger fish. So that's typically what I drop when I drop brush. Dr. Jack, one more loop knot question. Do you use it for shooting docks? Yes, I do. I use a loop knot for shooting docks. Now, with that being said, I will say also that if you're going to use a loop knot for shooting docks, make sure that you retie it every so often, because if you do not retie it, it will break on you because you're stressing the bottom of that knot every time you shoot, and it will eventually give, and it generally gives on the biggest fish of the day. That's generally when it gives. So if you're going to use a loop knot, just remember to retie it every so often. All right. For those of you that are interested in the auction online, I just posted the address for that, the link. You can click on that link or copy and paste that link into your browser, and it'll take you to the auction, the online auction. So if you guys would like to support that, we would appreciate it. And the rods that we're giving away, 2 ACC rods and 2 reels. I'm not 100% positive of the reel, but my guess is it'll probably be a Fluker Tryon or something comparable to that. But I know the rods are ACCs and the baits are probably bonehead baits. I would suggest bonehead baits if we're going to if you're going to use them in my boat, because fish like bonehead jigs. Let's see. Robert, mossback racks work great. Yeah, let's talk about that a minute. So I have fished mossback fish attractors before, but I'll be 100% honest. I think that natural wood structure attracts fish better than a mossback. It's something about wood that just fish like, and especially crappie. Crappie like wood. I think they like it a lot more than that mossback. That's just my opinion. But I know I've got probably 20 of those things marked in lakes across East Tennessee, and I rarely find fish on them. I'm not going to say I don't find fish on them, but it's rare that I find fish on them. And it could be the location they were dropped in. But I do know where there's one on Watch Bar, and there is a set of natural wood buckets within 20 yards of it, and they will always be on the wood and never on the mossback. In the same depth, in the same look. 20 yards apart. So I'm not going to say they don't work. The natural wood stuff seems to attract fish more regularly. All right, guys, I'm at the end of the comments. I'm going to give everybody another minute to comment. I appreciate everybody for being on tonight. If you guys have any more questions, please put them in there. I want to answer them before I go. So if you have any questions, drop them in there. But let's talk a little bit more about fall. Fall is a great time of year to crappie fish. Everybody gets a little bit when the temperatures start cooling down. Everybody gets, including the fish, gets a little bit more excited about going fishing. It's not as bad. The pleasure boaters are going to start putting their boats up, so that's a positive. And the fish are going to get more energetic and more active. So it's all good things for fall. Roger says he uses 3 bamboo stalks in a bucket. Yeah, bamboo works too. Bamboo's good for crappie. How tall do you make your wood buckets? Very good question, Robert. So my wood buckets are generally about 8 feet tall. I try to keep them around that 8-foot mark. One, because you got to move them around. And if you get them too much taller than 8 foot, they just get cantankerous. And then I like to put my structure in that 18-foot mark, or in that 18-foot range, 18 to 20. That's where, again, I feel like I'm most successful year round. And I like to put that structure out and allow for about 10 foot of water over top of the structure. Reason being is because fish, crappie, suspend over brush. They like to sit on top of brush. If you put it out in 18 foot of water and it's 14 foot tall, they don't have any room to sit over top of it and be comfortable. So fish will suspend over top of brush anywhere from right on the top of the structure where their fins are touching it, all the way up to 6-8 feet above the structure, depending on water clarities, light penetration, temperature. It all factors into at what depth those fish are sitting in the water column. That all plays a role. But the fish sitting over top of brush is the key. Okay. So I want to allow my fish, or the fish, enough time to sit or enough depth and water to sit over top at whatever depth they want to be at. Okay, does that make sense? Yep. Slab Buster says he knows an old man that would cut a telephone pole to whatever length he would put it in a 5-gallon bucket. He said crappie would swarm to it. They will. That sparse structure, that one irregularity in the water will bring fish. So, and it's a lot easier to catch them off of 3 2x4s than it is to catch them off of 3 Christmas trees with a million limbs in it. I can tell you that. Remember, guys, you got to fish this stuff. You know, you see a lot of guys that are building stuff that it's like, my God. I mean, if you drop a 2-ounce weight in the top of it, it won't fall to the bottom. How are you ever going to bring a jig through that? I mean, it's like, whoa. Now, fish might like it, but you never know if they were there or not because it's so thick. They get in there and they just won't see them. You just drive by and just, there's nothing there. Well, you can't see them. It's too thick. So keep that in mind when you're building structures, guys, because when I find them with my Lowrance units, I want to be able to fish them. Terry says, would like to see a picture of your buckets you sink. I will show a picture of the buckets I sink, yes. So when I put that video out, you'll see the buckets that I sink, and you can get a feel for what they look like, Terry. When you drop a new bucket, how long before fish use it? I've caught them 2 days after I drop it, and I've caught them, and I've went back 2 days later and found fish on buckets, and I've went back for 2 weeks and not found fish on buckets, and then all of a sudden on the 3rd week they're there. So a lot of it depends, Jimmy, on your area. Is there already other structure in the area or not? If there's not any structure in the area, let's say you're looking in a creek and you see nothing in this creek. Let's say you're in one of those little pockets like I talked about. There's nothing there, and you think there needs to be something in here, and you go drop a brush pile in it. It's going to take longer than if you take it to a creek that's got 4 or 5 other brush piles scattered around in it. There's already fish there. There's already fish using it. There's accustomed to being there, and you drop something in that. So it all depends on where you're at, how many fish, how much structure's around, the population of your lake, so on and so forth. Okay. Also, time of year. So if it's spring and I'm dropping them in 20 feet, they may not hold on that until, the summer or the fall. It just depends. You just get time of year and like I said, how many fish are in the area. So, but general rule of thumb, 2 weeks. If I had to pick a date, if I had to tell you how long it takes, I'd say 2 weeks. Mike, how do you make sure the structure will stand up? 50-pound of concrete in a bucket. You guys know how fast a 16th-ounce jig falls in the lake. Put 50-pound of concrete in a bucket and drop it. It's down like a light. I picked them up and thrown them in off the side of the boat, and it's shot water up out of the lake 30 feet in the air. Just, it's like, that was cool. Do it again. Yes. No, I used to take a 50-foot rope and I would loop the rope through the handle of the bucket and I would lower it down with the rope. And then when I felt it hit bottom, I'd pick it up 5 feet and just drop it and let it in the mud or on the bottom and just kind of sink it. I don't do that anymore, Mike. I'll be honest with you. When I drop spots, when I drop piles, I generally put 3 to 5 buckets per drop. And if one falls over, it's okay. because they're never perfectly straight up and down. They always kind of lean out a little bit. So if one falls over like this, you still have stakes that are kind of at an angle. And I've caught a lot of fish off of, 3 buckets. You got 2 of them standing up, and then the one over here is falling over or falling this way towards them. And you've got the vertical structure and a little bit of horizontal structure. That horizontal structure, fish kind of get right up underneath it, and they'll sit right underneath that horizontal structure. So I've caught a lot of fish off horizontal stuff too. So if I have one fall over, I don't worry about it. I mean, I really don't. I just keep on going and just keep on dropping, and they just kind of fall where they will. Slapbuster says, yeah, Christmas trees stink. I've been there and done that. You will lose a ton of jigs. You will lose a lot of jigs in a Christmas tree, and it will make you want to cuss. It'll make you want to go to the house. Ashley says, congrats on topping 5K subscribers. Well deserved. Thanks again for all you do. Good night and God bless. Good night, Ashley. Appreciate it, buddy. David Wall, he says, hey guys, I know I'm late. Good to be here for a few anyway. Well, glad you can make it, David. Better late than never, buddy. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, when this ends, it posts to the YouTube channel. So you can go to the YouTube channel, go to the lives. I have the videos separated. I've got crappie videos, and then I've got lives. You can always go back and watch the lives at a later date, guys. All right, I got to the bottom again, guys. It looks like I don't see any more comments. I'm sure there'll be one come in after we leave, but I just want to thank you all again. I appreciate you being on tonight. We're actually a little shorter than we normally are. We're normally around that 2-hour mark. We're at about 1 hour and 37 minutes now. So, but we're going to call it. I think I'm going to go. I hear my 5-year-old in there doing a little bit of crying and whimpering. He's still awake at 10:30, so he's probably waiting on Dad to go to bed. So I'm going to call this one. We're going to go in there. We're going to put the little one to bed. We're going to snuggle, and we'll catch you guys on the video tomorrow. Don't forget, I'm dropping a video tomorrow. ACC, first time on the water. I really, really like it. I think you guys are going to like the show. And by like it, I mean the show. I'm not telling you about the rod. I'm going to let you watch the video. But it's good stuff. So check it out. And then live next Wednesday. We'll be here, same time, same place. Not doing anything too special, but we are going to go over some more side imaging, down imaging, and live scope screenshots. Okay. We're going to go over those. We're going to break some more of those down, let you guys ask some more questions. We'll do a few more live scopes this time than we did last time. May try to get some video and show you guys of the live scope and show you guys kind of how fish are moving and the characteristics of a crappie versus another fish as far as their movements. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to learn. We're going to teach, or I'm going to teach. Hopefully you guys will learn. And we'll see you guys next week. So again, I appreciate all the super chats. The super chats help keep me on the lake doing what I'm doing for you guys. So thank y'all so much for the super chats. Everybody's saying good night. Bill says good channel. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. Steven says can't wait till next week. I can't either. It's going to be a lot of fun. So again, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the good comments on the merchandise. Thank you for the 5,000 subscribers. I'm honored, and we'll catch you guys later. God bless.